Hello, everybody. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Let us continue. Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your blah blah blah. I can't read that word at all. Adjudication for the time being.
Oh, to what end, counsel?
The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
Objection!
Alternate theory? Non-existent.
Objection!
There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime. What? And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time, but mustering all her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction. This is fiction, fantasy.
Very well, as you seem so sure yourself, counsel, I'm prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Ryutar Naruto.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Will you present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan? At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed?
Right behind here.
Take that!
Naruto-san would never give up, and I'm a Naruto now. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett, concealed in this location here.
Are you mad, counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut?
What? Oh, I forgot to grab myself some water before I started the session.
Order! The student lawyer, Naruto Esquire? That makes no sense at all.
You've just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap. But I didn't see any suspicious individuals loading about there, I can swear to that. Obviously, the culprit has been outside the hut. Oh. There's no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut. Actually, Prosecutor Oichi, there is a way. Huh. And in point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed. You're bluffing! You're bluffing!
The defense assertion is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from the outside the hut?
Let me see. My first guess is the photo, because obviously there's a hole to where she was possibly standing. Well, let's try that. Oops, wrong button.
Take that!
Is that not the right one? Well, I presented now, but I haven't the first idea why I chose this piece of evidence.
Counsel, you're suggesting that this piece of evidence bears out your theory as to how the victim was stabbed?
It's something of a windfall, Your Excellency. I think the word you were looking for, counsel, was downfall.
If your theory is correct, the knife was thrust into Miss Brett's back from the outside of the hut. There should be a visible trace somewhere.
Trace? Yes, on the hut itself. Armed with that idea, I must look through the court record again. Your Excellency, the defense would like to present a different piece of evidence.
What piece of evidence corroborates the theory blah blah blah?
Let me see. I mean, it shows there where she's standing that there's clearly a hole. I also don't dump. I also don't dump. I'm pretty sure it has to be a photo, so let's do this one.
Take that!
The original photographic print of the crime scene?
Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach.
Objection!
Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing. I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone at least appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to.
Counsel, once again, I must call on you to be explicit for the court. Where on this photograph is a trace of the stabbing, which you claim took place from outside the hut?
I mean, it has to be this, right? Oh no, they're making me second guess myself.
Take that!
Look closely just here. The screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds. No, I can't. I can't see any such thing. It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls, as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them.
This is extraordinary.
Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. And of everyone present at the scene, there was only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Right, Menemomo-san, it could only have been you. No!
Objection!
This is preposterous. This idea leaves me absolutely, almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the room of the beach hut, does it not? As we to assume, as part of the partial scenario, that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Objection!
No, of course not. What not? If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death, inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on the stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me if she knew she was untouchable. A stool? I have another photograph to look at. The slit in the reed screen would align perfectly with the back of a person who was sitting on that stool.
My word, so in fact the victim was
killed while sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the reed screen. Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut. Before the defendant Minbami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day. By your silence, Menemomo-san, I take that you don't deny the charge. This is absurd!
That will do. It would appear that we have a admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, the court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant Minbami-san is innocent of this crime.
I feel like that was a bit rushed at the end. Normally they put up a bit of a fight. I finally made him cave.
I must say, I've never been more proud.
No, this can't be. The Uchi clan can't. What of my growth of hope? It was all an apparition? I can't accept this. I won't.
I see no reason for the continuation of this trial. I will therefore move to conclude proceedings by delivering my final...
Well, this is very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals? But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut through the reed screen walls. And no one but you was in that place at the time to have this hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction. So your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems a little irrelevant now. Irrelevant? Oops, wrong button. Where she was stabbed and how she was stabbed, it doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference if you think about it. After all, the trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else. Oh, is it the poison, right? Ah, that's right. What are you talking about? Brace yourselves, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed. Because of the dirt you dug up. What?
Enough of scrutiny. Explain yourself, witness.
What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course. The poison? Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that a deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that the poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that alright?
That is correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are sure sign that this particular poison was used.
I see. So presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed. Ha!
Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes.
If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood. Oh, he's starting to compose himself. How refreshing to hear the arguments of a metropolitan mind. Precisely, it matters not a jot who stabbed whom in whose back and with whose blade. Because, quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison.
Objection!
But that can't be explained. But that can be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already...
Objection!
Haha, forgotten already, have we, yokel? During these very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever. So let me get this down. The facts as skillfully established by the defense in this trial turns out to be a headline-making red herring. Is that about right? Well...
Order! But where does this leave us? How, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body?
There is an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely embedded her. You mean she drank it? Now look at the photograph here, as you can see. A bottle of carbonated water in a glass had been knocked on the sandy floor on the beach hut. The poison could have been slipped into either. So somebody made Miss Brett drink it. Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. This will make a great front page shot. Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the woman, would it? Wouldn't it? I can't read today. I mean, that's been established already. Established? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe, given the person who established it was you. Me? What on earth does he mean? Oh, let me capture those wide eyes. This is prime press fodder. This is.
It would seem that this trial is not destined to end yet, after all. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony.
That's great that it is. Let me get a shot of that magnificent beard, Your Excellency.
You claim to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You explained to the court in your testimony the basis upon which you made such a claim.
I am a journo, and I'm a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life. And I'm not about to start, because that's the I can't read that. For a brief moment, I thought I had illuminated the truth, but slipped right back into obscurity again. Just where is this trial going to take us? All right, complete innocence. Oh yes, I stabbed the Englishwoman, and it's that very fact that proves I'm innocent. Because why would I bother to stab the woman if I already poisoned her? When I heard the student girl and the pompous English murderer again arguing, it got my goat. If the court weren't going to punish Brett for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done. That last part seems kind of, incriminating. So you admit it then, that everything happened as I described. That you are the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back through the reed screen. You can blame this miserable country of ours. A country that bows to the pressure of foreign powers and lets murderers walk free? What kind of future can a country like that have? That's why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the gut to do. Slap bang in the middle of that charming lady's back, I plunged the blade of sweet justice right in there. I mean, he literally just admitted it. But he does make a point. As someone who spends his life seeing that the truth is told, I feel really, really awful about giving false information in my testimony before. But as it turns out, there was somebody else who had it in for the victim and got to her before me. That's right, you guessed it. The pretty little student girl. Now there's a woman after my own heart. You're implicating Ray again. She's the one who gave the poison to the Englishwoman and ended her pitiful existence. And suddenly, snap! This joiner here is off the hook. The argument is sound, certainly. If the witness had administered poison himself, he need only to have waited for it to take effect. Subsequently, stabbing the victim in the back would have been entirely nonsensical. And therefore, this reporter had nothing to do with the poisoning. Yes, all quite logical. That's right, it is logical and true. I'm glad you've all seen the light. Justice at last. This is unbelievable. And after it had made so much progress in proving his guilt, is he going to get away with it now? Think of Kazuma-sama and Naruto-san. They never stop looking for a way forward until the judge's final gavel. Very well then, counsel. Proceed with that what I assume to be your final cross-examination in this trial. Alright, we're nearing the end. It did feel a bit short, but hopefully we can actually find the truth in this last one. Yes, Your Excellency. Complete innocence. Oh yes, I stabbed the Englishwoman, and it's that very fact that proves I'm innocent. I'll just press him on everything to see. So, you do admit that you had murderous intention towards Miss Brett then? Ha, that woman's very existence offended my sense of justice. Your sense of... he's claiming some sort of righteous indignation? He was pure evil. A cold-blooded killer who committed murder right here on our empire's soil. But did our good-for-nothing government do anything? Not a chance. So I had to step in. Fly the flag of justice. Put things right for the people. Yes, it was my civic duty. That's why what drove me to do it. So, in summary, murderous intentions then. Whatever you want to call it, the point is... that Englishwoman was a blight. So I had to do what was right for society. Yet a real wrong was done by the student girl in the dock, a crime for which she must pay. Obviously, because the poisoning was nothing to do with me at all. Because why would I bother to stab the woman if I already poisoned her?
Hold it!
So you still maintain that you didn't give the poison to the victim? Obviously, that would be like putting a belt on your trousers when you're already wearing braces like these. The accused administered poison following this witness stabbed the victim. An unforgivable act, certainly, but not one of murder. That crime rests on the accuser's shoulder. That is how the law works here, you see, yokel. Who knows, you may even learn something here today. 2 consecutive attempts on her life in that space of minutes. Quite a day for the victim. Do something that evil, and you've got it coming. That's how the law works. The law of reckoning. That's not the kind of law that this court upholds.
You will reiterate why you were compelled to stab the victim, then, witness.
Let's see. When I heard the student girl, the pomp was murderer arguing, it got my goat. Did something change? Wait.
Hold it!
Is that new? Did he reiterate that one? So you still maintain that you didn't give the poison to the victim? You see, that'll be like putting a belt on the trousers when you're already wearing braces like these. Okay, yeah, I think we've already gone through this one. I thought it changed because the judge said to reiterate. So let us see if I can back out of this for a second. There you go.
Hold it!
What exactly were they arguing about? About what happened in that restaurant 9 months ago. That's what? The student girl was laying into the English room for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Wilson.
Yes, John H. Wilson, a professor of medicine and invited here from England by Professor Mikotomi, no less.
Right, but the English woman just jeered. Her case was to be heard by the British consular court in Shanghai. However, there is a little doubt that she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman. It was eating that student girl up inside. You could see it. It really felt for her. I can't stand here and listen to this tripe. Ray, young girl, you stand accused here. You can't just come up there. No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of something very important testimony here. Just keep quiet and listen. But this is awful man is making all this stuff up. Sasato, please, you have to make them listen.
Return to the dock at once, Minbami-san. We're in the middle of a cross-examination.
Your Excellency, please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy witness. Exactly, he's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted bigot, dirty, great peeping Tom. Whoa, take it easy there. Please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say. Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks.
I will grant the request of the defense.
But Your Excellency!
This is likely to be in final cross-examinations of this proceeding. As such, I believe it would be an ill-advised to stifle the defendant's obvious concerns. The Waltz, recognizing that this contravenes regular protocol, I hereby call upon the defendant to speak.
Oh. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It was nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison. Stolen poison.
Hold it!
The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean? I suspected her of being the one to steal it. I mean, just think about how she killed Dr. Wilson.
That's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of the new poison. But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed for the government. Indeed, all visitors of the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if the thief managed to avoid being seen by himself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult. That's true. I questioned Professor Mikotomi until he agreed to show the poison when I visited his laboratory. As I left, I was searched from top to tail. Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin we'd been developing, you see? And since Sasaki-san expressed such an interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Obviously, I gave nothing away other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance. I'm very shameful of myself. It's just that I've had singular, terrible experience with a deadly poison. I wanted to look at my old enemy in the eye. Surely you can understand that. To find if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that if there were to be an incident involving it somehow, it wouldn't just be the university. The military would be dragged into it, the whole government even. It would be a complete disaster. And how did Miss Brett respond to your concerns?
She just curled those beautiful lips of hers and she said he didn't know the first thing about it, in English actually.
Oh yes, Minamimo-san, one small question if you don't mind.
I do mind. Can you see I'm clearly busy?
Clearly you and the one outside the beach hut listening and wants to defend and Miss Brett were conversing. Presumably then, it was you who wrote this article about what you've heard. Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published in the morning edition of Shoyu News. The details are too accurate for it to have been written by anyone else.
Oh, this guy's sweating. Sorry, don't know what you're talking about. Yes, look at this. The entire article is almost what I said to Miss Brett word for word. Look. Well, Minamimo-san, as a journal in a citizen of a free country, I don't have to reveal my sources that a founding principle of minimalism. Father clearly right about this. That reporter did write that article and he based it on what he overheard from outside the hut. Let's see, an article about the poison was stolen from the University. The reporter Minamimo based it on information he gleaned from eavesdropping. So what was it all about? You were trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in. That's why you came up with that stinking story about me arguing with her. Shut up, my stories never stink. Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Your Excellency, there's something I want to say and I want to go on record.
Very well, you may amend your formal testimony.
Ooh, this guy is out of breath. Alright, well, I think we're going to stop this part here. So, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and until then, I will see you all later. Goodbye.